Hey guys, it's Lisa from twocreateawebsite.com, and today I want to talk to you about a tip that may help improve your search engine rankings. Now, I say may because this is not guaranteed, but I do believe this tip will help a lot of you with some traffic, the long tail traffic. What do I mean by long tail traffic? Okay, when you're trying to rank for a particular keyword phrase, let's say you're trying to rank for a phrase like make money online. That's a very, very competitive phrase. And the people who are appearing on the top or the first page of Google for make money online probably have a ton of backlinks from other popular sites and sites related to making money online. Some very quality sites, at least sites that Google deems as quality. As most of you guys know these days, search engine optimization, getting ranked well in the search engines is more about how many quality, relevant links from other sites you have than on-page criteria like your content or your keyword density. It's really, really a waste of time for the most part to spend a lot of time on your meta tag keyword, your keyword density, mentioning a phrase 13, 14 times in the body because the search engines have gotten smarter. However, there is something that I think everyone should do that can help, potentially help you rank higher for certain keywords, especially your long tail keywords. So a long tail keyword would be a keyword that is not as popular. Let's say you got make money online. That would be a competitive, popular keyword. But make money online with coins in Philadelphia would be an example of a long tail keyword. It's a keyword that may not get searched for a lot, but it will be a lot easier to rank higher for that phrase because there's not as much competition. I get the majority of my traffic from the search engines. And 90% of my search engine traffic, or maybe not that high, but it's a high percentage of my search engine traffic comes from long tail keywords, keywords that I wasn't really targeting. So if I just checked, I just checked my Google Analytics stats about an hour ago. And last month alone, I was found for over 86,000 different keywords in Google last month. A lot of those were long tail keywords. So let's say you've got site A and site B. Site A and site B both have the same page rank, have the same number of inbound links, perfect world. This is just an example. Let's say they have the same everything. The only thing that's different is the content. So if Google is trying to decide which site to rank first, what do you think Google is going to look at? It's going to look at the content because everything else remains the same, right? So wouldn't you, the site owner, want to make sure that your content is listed as close to the top of the page as possible? Now you're probably saying, wait a minute, Lisa, what the heck are you talking about? Of course my content is at the top of the page. It may be on your page, but what about your source code? And that's what I'm getting to in this video. What you may not realize, or maybe you realize it and don't understand the importance of it, if you view the source code of your website right now, you will probably see that if you have a left navigation, you will probably see that your left navigation appears before your content on a website or a blog. But let's talk about how Google spiders or reads your page. Google sends out its little bot called Googlebot. And Googlebot is not a human. You can't take Googlebot out to lunch. Although I'd like to, because Googlebot has been really nice to me lately. So Googlebot comes out and looks at your page, but Googlebot doesn't read a site the way you and I read it. It doesn't say, oh, this is the nav, I'm going to ignore this. Let me read the content. No, Googlebot sees your site like this. So I'm going to view page source. And this is what Googlebot sees, your code. It just scans your code from top to bottom. So knowing that, wouldn't you want your content to appear as close to the top of the code as possible? I would hope so. So about a year ago, I haven't done it yet on this site. I'm actually working on it now. But about a year ago, I made this change to my flat stomach exercises website. And I don't know how many of you guys saw my video I did talking about my site Build It Traffic last August. And I had about 7,600 visitors per day back then. And I made this change around that time. So if you view the source code of my site, Build It site, you will see that my content starts way up here. Look at my scroll bar. The only thing above it is my header. And then if you scroll down some more, you'll see that the left navigation starts right there after the content, and so does the right navigation. And good news if you own Site Build It, because if you use one of their templates, they do this for you automatically. All of their templates that come with the program are coded like this by default. So that's good news if you use any of their templates. Now I'm using my own template. So I had to change mine because my original template had the content appearing after the left navigation. And actually, I think it was after the left and the right navigation because of how I coded the page. And that's how CSS is by default. So what I did is I looked at someone else's Site Build It template to figure out how to do this. And I will probably do another video and show you guys how if you want, because I don't want to do it here because I think it will make the video way, way too long. But for those of you who are, HTML, CSS savvy and don't mind fiddling around with some code, you can actually look at my site and figure out how I did it. You can just view the source of my page and then click on my style sheet. If you're using Firefox, you can automatically click on the style sheet. And you will see that all I did was I added a content wrapper, which is like a container that my site sits in, and I floated it to the left. I made sure that both my left and right column are floated to the left. I know it doesn't seem intuitive, but yes, my right column is also floating to the left. And then notice that my margin to the left has a negative margin. So I played around with the margins and the padding and floated everything to the left. And it took me about 20 to 30 minutes. And voila, this is what I got. And I tested this out on browsershots.org, which is a free site where you can go, where you should always go after you've redesigned your site, because you can check and make sure that it displays correctly on most of the popular browsers. So definitely make sure you do that. So I did this back in August, September of last year, and I want to show you guys what my traffic looks like now. This is my traffic, and before people think this is a screenshot, let me back up so you guys can see that I am actually clicking my traffic stats link, because there are always going to be those people that are say, oh, how do we know you didn't Photoshop that? This is my traffic. So we have August of last year when I did that video about my Site Builder traffic. I was at 7,600 per day. These are visitors per day. And as you can see, fast forward to July, and let's actually look at June, because June is a full month. For some reason, with Site Build It stats, on the first day of the month, they only record like 30 or 40 visits or so, like 5% of your traffic. So it brings your average for that current month way down, but then it averages out by the end of the month. I don't know why it's like that. But so my July average is a lot lower than it really is. So let's look at June. So from August to June, which was the last full month, you can see my traffic has almost doubled. Now, am I going to say that this was because I made this coding change? I would never say that was the reason, but I would, or the complete reason. I think it was part of the reason, because as many of you guys know, this was my guinea pig Site Build It site. I bought this site, or created this site, because I wanted to test Site Build It, and I wanted to be able to speak intelligently about the product onto createawebsite.com. That's all this site really is. I didn't intend to really make a whole lot of money with this site. I mean, that was my hope, of course, but I, was really just using it as a test site to sort of see how Site Build It worked. Okay. So I have not updated any content on this site in the last year, except my Site Build It case study, which is not related to flat stomach exercises or anything. So I have not made any changes in the last year, except that coding change. And just like to create a website, most of the traffic has been search engine traffic. Google is my #1 traffic source. And that's the reason the traffic has doubled. It's been because of Google. So because Google doesn't reveal why it's giving you a higher ranking on certain keywords, I can never say it's because I made that coding change. But boy, oh boy, you would really think that that would have a lot to do with it, considering I haven't made any more updates to this site and I haven't been actively promoting this website. So guys, before I continue and end this and wrap up this video, I also want to say, when I do these revealing videos like this, I always hesitate to show my traffic, because there are always those people that think they can just copy your content and do the same thing that you've done and get the same type of results. Well, hopefully you guys know by now that's a waste of time. If it worked like that today, then everybody would be copying the most popular sites and getting rich and quitting their jobs. It doesn't work like that anymore. Not only that, it's illegal. And what people don't realize is I see all these people who are copying my content. I have tools where I can, see and read and find out which, where my site's been copied. And I find people all the time. And guess what? They realize after a month or two, it's not going to work. So guys, don't waste your time. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sorry I had to interrupt the video and say that to the 10% or the 5% or the 2% of the people that are going to try that. But it's inevitable. Every time I do these revealing videos, that happens, which is why I've stopped doing so many of these types of videos. But anyway, I digress. I did want to say something to the bloggers out there, because changing your blog is going to be, a little trickier, as I mentioned, because blogs have so many, different files. But if you use Thesis actually codes your blog the right way, the quote unquote right way, meaning your content comes first at the top of the code. And the reason I'm on Brian Clark's Copy Blogger blog is I use Thesis as well, as you guys know, on my blog, but I don't have a left column. So of course my content shows up first in the code. But I looked at the source of Brian's code, and if you view his source, you will see that his content shows up before his left and right nav. So if you use Thesis and maybe some of the other premium paid themes, then you may also get that benefit. And that's great. That's great news for Thesis. And Thesis has always been known as an SEO friendly theme anyway. It's just got very clean code to begin with. So I'm not surprised that it's coded like that. So if you have a free theme or another type of theme that does not code the content on top like that, then you will have to make that change manually. And if enough of you guys request it, I will do a video. And then for those of you guys who have blogs, I'm going to do the video for a static website. And for those of you who have blogs, you can use that information and interpolate it to work for your own blog. And hopefully that will help. So that's all I wanted to show you guys today. I really do think it's worth making this change. I mean, as I said in the beginning, I can't guarantee that making this change is going to double your traffic or anything like this, but knowing and understanding how Google and these bots read your page, wouldn't you want your content to appear as close to the top of the page as possible, since Google reads from top to bottom? I think it's worth it. It seems to have definitely been worth it for my site Build It site. Again, I can't prove that that change was the reason, but you'd like to think that it is, considering I made that change and haven't added any content since then. And a lot of people believe that's why a lot of the site Build It sites rank so well in the search engines, because by default, their templates are coded that way. And most other CSS templates, 2 to 3 column templates, are not coded this way by default. They have the left nav and then the content, or the left and the right nav and then the content at the bottom, which is not ideal for search engine optimization. So that's all I wanted to say, guys. I'd love to hear what you guys think about this tip. Check your site. How is your site coded? Is it coded like this? And are you going to make the change? Let's talk about it. I'll see you guys in the comments. Bye-bye.